Welcome, all my home buyers out there. My name is Omar Pineda, your Austin realtor with eXp Realty, and today we are in Leander, Texas, in a community called Rosenbusch Ranch, and the builder we're looking at is DR Horton. And take note that this street that we're on is where your future home would be located. So we are at the end of a cul-de-sac. This is currently phase 2 of this community. You can kind of see phase 3 off there in the distance. And needless to say, there's going to be future phases here for this Rosenbusch Ranch community. So there's going to be more homes to be built for the next couple of years. But I wouldn't consider this a huge master plan community where there's thousands of homes going to be built. This is just a nice little pocket in West Leander, which I think is a big draw and plus, in my opinion, for this community because of where it's located, because it's off Lakeline Boulevard, which is only a street you would be on if you live here. So it's not a high traffic area. Like if you were looking at, I know there's a DR Horton builder community in W Ranch. So if you're looking at Leander and you're looking at a price point in the 400s, then DR Horton on W Ranch, I'm sure you've come across, and then maybe you haven't discovered Rosenbusch Ranch yet. But in W Ranch, it's off Ronald Reagan, and that street is just a lot of traffic. It's a high traffic street, and to me, I think it's a pain to go in and out of the community because there's not enough dedicated lights there yet, which still boggles my mind because people like to go fast on Ronald Reagan. But here you're secluded, and I think that's a nice big draw to this community. So this is the Wilson floor plan. It's 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,533 square feet, 2.5 car garage. That half garage is going to be clutch because if you're looking for a home with storage, this home is it. That 0.5 for the garage space, not to mention the other additional storage space that you'll get throughout the house will make this a huge win because you have the garage, you have the walk-in closets, although it's just one, but it's a huge one, and then you have some storage underneath the stairs because this is a 2-story home. Now I'm looking at the inventory sheet. There are all the homes that are ready now. I should say most of the homes that are ready now have had a price drop. So where they were in the 500s, now a lot of them dipped in the high 400s. So from 500s now into the high 400s. So that definitely is giving people that's more a bigger pool of buyers that might have the opportunity to buy into this community. And what I really like about this community is the tax rate. The tax rate is 2.1. That's it, because we're not in a mud, we're not in a PUD, we're not in a PID. So here, okay, see that extra storage space I was talking about underneath the stairs? Look at it, it wraps around, it keeps going. So you have this, you have the garage that we're about to see here in a second, and then you have some of the walk-in closets. So there's a lot of storage in this floor plan, and you have 3 bathrooms. I think homes that have that additional bathroom, that's not a 4-2. So that's very common that I see, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. That, if you look at that from a resale perspective, between that and a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, what do you think is going to have the bigger kind of appreciation, bigger demand for people in the future? Is that extra bedroom, because you ideally have 2 bedrooms now if you like to entertain or have guests over that they could use and share 2 bathrooms instead of just the one. I think from just a convenience standpoint, that's huge in my opinion, especially when it comes to resale. Bathrooms don't lose value. They add a lot of value to the home, and this one has 3. The price drop, 5% price drop. It was originally offered at $578,740. So now it's being offered at $549,000. So we are seeing a price drop. There is an incentive tied to this floor plan if you are looking to buy within the next 30-60 days, as long as these incentives keep up. So incentive, price drop, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, plenty of storage. Here's that 0.5 extra space that you get in the garage. You see how it has that lip there, and then you have that space. So just imagine if that's enough space and wide enough so you can put additional cabinets. So if you could really utilize that space and take advantage of all the storage capability that you have for your 2.5 car garage, which is again a huge selling point, because usually you just see 2 or you see 3, you see nothing in between. I think just the way that they laid out the plots for this cul-de-sac is just the way it worked out. There's 2 or 3 homes that have that 2.5 car garage that's in part of their inventory right now with DR Horton that you could take advantage of with the price drops. Now again, that tax rate is huge. If you're looking at other communities that are a little bit cheaper when it comes to their home prices, take a look at their property taxes and the HOA. What is that? Because that's where you'll probably find it to be a little bit more expensive. That's why the homes are a little bit cheaper. This home is a little bit more on the expensive side because they have all four sides masonry. The better finishes, better hardwood floors. So they made this a quality home. I think that this for this particular community is part of their tradition series, which if you look on their website talks about the value and the construction of that series, and you're getting that. So on top of you get that with the price point, right? I know if you're looking at homes in Leander, chances are you probably saw Rosenbusch Ranch, and there's DR Horton there as well, and their homes there are in the 300 mark or in the mid 300s. And here to get into this community, you need to be in the 400s. So it's a little bit higher, but that tax rate is where you're going to make up that cost. So don't let the price point scare you off if you're very close. If you're very close to it, because that tax rate, it's significant. 2.1 tax rate compared to a 2.7 tax rate. That spread is a couple $100 difference when it comes to your monthly payment. So that's how vital these property tax rates are because it adds to your monthly payment. And for this one, it is what it is. It's 2.1, and that's it. In Rosenbusch Ranch, I believe they're in the mud or pit, so you're going to add a little bit more to your property tax rate. So that's something to think about, right? $70 HOA, that's very reasonable, right? And again, we are in Leander. A big draw to Leander is belonging to the Leander ISD district, because you want to put your kids in the top-notch schools. So I think that's why Leander has maintained its pricing, and the demand there is still there because, again, Liberty Hill and Leander is the big draw to be in that school district. And this one, not only would you be a part of that, but you're tucked away in West Leander, right there off Hero Way and Lakeline, which to me, I think, location-wise and just driving into your community, I almost forgot to mention, they have future plans. Actually, let me share my screen here so you can kind of see here. Let me pause this and let me share my screen so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So here is the Rosenbusch Ranch, DR Horton. So that's the community we were just looking at. And here's Lakeline Boulevard that takes you to this community. And here's Vista Ridge. That's what I really want you to focus on. So here's Vista Ridge Drive that takes you into this community. And you can kind of see here, Vista Ridge Drive on the other side that's what they plan on connecting. That's what's been proposed, at least. I don't see why they would not be able to, but it's been proposed that when it's all said and done, with this community, you'll have access to go either through Lakeline Boulevard or Baghdad, which is huge because Baghdad will connect you to Whitestone, and Whitestone will connect you to all the major highways. But just having more than one exit point for a community is huge because that's just for traffic. For high traffic areas. So that's something to look forward to if you're planning on moving this community, is that you will have a connection to Baghdad. But for now, you just have Lakeline Boulevard, which is not a deal breaker by any means, because you're only on this street if you live over here. There's no other reason why you would come out here. So when I visited, it wasn't a very high traffic area, and it's a really pretty drive. But it's a one-way, so it's a one-way on both sides. All right, so let's go back here. You can kind of see here, I was kind of wrapping things up with the amenity pool and the amenity center. I wanted to show you phase 3 because that's at the end of this next shot is phase 3. The home we were looking at belongs to phase 2, and phase 3 is they haven't started building anything yet. It's just they finished moving the dirt. You can see how nice and almost leveled it is. Now it's just sectioning off all the lot sizes. I believe here, because I think 50s and 60s is what they build in this community. This may be where they have their bigger homes for this next phase, but don't quote me on that. I would have to double check that. But again, DR Horton is the only builder building out for Rosenbusch Ranch. Yet you do have Coventry Homes that's right next door to DR Horton, but they're a different price point, a higher price point. DR Horton is still I would say it's affordable for Leander, because again, Leander is not cheap because that huge draw for the school district. So that there's a lot of people that want to live in Leander. But for having a home in the 400s, in the high 400s, that used to be in the 500s, I mean that's a huge plus. I think that's the market we're in. We're starting to see price drops. We're starting to see builders offer a little bit more when it comes to their incentives. Let me know in the comments if you are living in a different city and watching this, but there's a lot of new construction happening on the residential side, what are you seeing as far as incentives for the builders? Because here in the Austin area, every builder is offering some type of incentive. They have been, because as long as we're in this interest rate era that's high, especially because we haven't seen the home affordability kind of find a nice middle ground when it comes to this high rate era that we're in. We're starting to see price drops. We're starting to see price drops on top of them maintaining these incentives. And these incentives can be anywhere from $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I mean, this builder for DR Horton, they're offering a 5.5% rate right now, when I know the rate is in the low sevens. So that is significant. So if you want to tour this home, if you're a home buyer and you're looking to close within the next 30, 60 days and you're not represented, I'd love to work with you. I'd love an opportunity, a chance for us to talk, to get to see what your criteria is, find the community that best meets your needs. Here's how I operate really quick. I want you to fall in love with the floor plan first. Then I want you to fall in love with the community. And then let's figure out the incentives. Let's figure out what the builder can offer. But don't let that be a huge determining factor, because again, these builders keep up with what their competition is offering. I keep up with what the competition's offering. If we're not getting an incentive that is very close to what the competition's offering, we'll negotiate that. There's some wiggle room there, but they are willing to work with us, is what I'm saying. So, but that's why I don't let that be a determining factor, because I've always had the builders be able to work with me and my clients in some way when it comes to that, because they understand they don't want that to be a deal breaker, because they want you to close with one of their homes. So let's do that. Let's schedule time to talk. If you have immediate needs, let's talk now. Let's just schedule a video call, or if you're local, let's meet in person. But if you're planning to move here and you're just planning to buy sometime this year, you're just not sure when, let's do a discovery call so we can figure out, because again, real estate is hyper local. If you're just looking at the news for your information, that's painting just a very broad picture of what the current real estate market looks like. Let's get very hyper local when it comes to your market update. That's what we go over in our call. Let's get very specific on what your criteria is and what you plan on using for the future use for the home. That way I can present you a couple of good options that meet your needs when it comes to, like, how do you plan on living and working in your home. Those are big things, because I study these floor plans all the time. I have a good grasp on what a lot of these builders' floor plans look like and what their price points are and what areas they're in, right? Just take a look at my playlist on YouTube. I have a whole series talking about new construction around the Austin area. Subscribe to the channel if you like all things new construction, because I definitely keep a pulse and beat on that. And ultimately, let's get you into a brand new home. Let's get that home warranty locked in. Let's start building that equity and unlocking all the perks of having of being a homeowner, right? So I'll have all my information linked in the description. Please smash that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like all things new construction. I keep up to date with them. I'm not gonna not keep up to date with them, because it's one of my specialties, and new construction in Austin is going to be it for the next couple of years, because of how much demand Austin is bringing when it comes to businesses, right? Samsung and Tesla are really quick and easy examples to throw out there, because those are huge players in Austin that are building brand new infrastructure that's going to create thousands of jobs here in the local Austin market. So my name is Omar Pineda, your Austin realtor with eXp Realty. Appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.